Hi, this is Dr. Finn, and this is the answer key to the APA style assignment for week 1. I recommend that you review your own assignment that you submitted along with this video to see where your own errors are. We'll start with the title page. At the top of the title page, you should see the running head. The running head should be located in the header of your title page and not below the header. So you'll see here it's in the header. And you want it to say running head with capitalize the R in running but not the H in head, and the actual running head should be all capitals. You want to make sure your running head is an abbreviation of your actual title, not the full title. And the words running head, along with the actual running head, should only be found on the title page and not any of the other pages. So the header for your first page is going to look different than the header for all the other pages. Also in your header, you're going to have the page 1, that it's the first page. Now below the header, the first thing you're going to have is the title, and you want to make sure that you capitalize the first letter in all the main words of your title. So I believe in your assignment, only the first word was capitalized. So you wanted to make sure that you capitalized all the other words, as it is shown here. Then you want to include the author's name. And then following that, the affiliation or institution. All of this should be double-spaced. And you don't want to include anything else. You don't want to include date. You don't want to include class number. You don't want to put a title or a degree or anything else with the author's name. This is all you want to see on your title page. Running head, page 1, title, name, and institution. And that's it. And when you're submitting your own assignments, either for this course or for the other courses that require you to do it in APA style, this is what it should be looking like. Moving down to the next page, you're going to have your abstract. So the abstract has the word abstract written at the top of the page, centered, not bold, not all caps, just capitalize the first letter. And then you start with the abstract. The whole abstract will be here. You do not indent right here. You see that it's all flush. And this needs to be double-spaced. You don't want to include any extra spaces here. It should be abstract, 2 spaces down, the beginning of the abstract, and everything should be double-spaced as you see here. And this is the only thing that should be on the abstract page. You don't want to start any other text. And then you'll notice that your header is going to look different than it did on the title page. Okay, so all of your pages from here on in should look like this. You have your running head, and you have your page number, and that's it. And again, this needs to be in the header. It can't be in the body of the paper, because then it might show up differently depending on who's downloading it. Now the third page is going to have your introduction. You don't want to write the word introduction at the top. You're going to have your actual title of your paper be the first line of the introduction page. No extra spaces here. You want to go right on into the text. And again, this needs to all be double-spaced. Now, unlike your abstract page, you do indent. You indent each paragraph. You don't want to put an extra space in between paragraphs. It should be consistently double-spaced all the way through. And then essentially all you had to do on this page is to incorporate the references appropriately. This is the first reference here. In parentheses, you want to write the last names of each of the authors. They should remain in the same order. You don't want to alphabetize. Whatever order the authors are listed in, that's the order they need to stay in every time you reference that paper. So in this case, it's Mark, Sibley, and Arbaugh, comma, 2005. If this is within the text, it would be Mark, Sibley, and the word "and" before Arbaugh. But in this case, it's added at the end of a sentence in the parentheses, so you're going to have the "and" sign within here. Okay, and that's what this reference should look like. Down here, it's going to be the same thing, Hines and Pearl. Again, keep the authors in the same order. And you have the and sign, not the word and. Here it's different. You have the authors as part of the text. Hines and Pearl discuss the potential for social isolation. Hines, the word and, Pearl, and then in parentheses 2004 for the date. And then you have Dickey here, extra parentheses. And it's the same as the other ones, Dickey, 2004. And down here is Young, 2006. And then the last one, it's going to be Marks et al. With a period after L, 2005. And you're going to do this for articles that have 3 or more authors. And it's going to be the second time you mention the paper within this particular paper within the text that you're writing. So this time you write out all the authors, but the second time and every other time you mention it within your paper, it's going to be Marks et al., 2005. And finally, you have your references page, which didn't get formatted properly. Okay, so it starts at the very top of the page. There should be nothing else on the reference page other than references. There shouldn't be an extra little space here, which I realize there is. So you're going to have to change that so that they don't add an extra space. There, okay. And again, everything has to be double spaced all the way down. No extra spaces, just double spaced. You want to line up all of your references alphabetically by the first author's last name. So they're not listed in the order that they were listed in your assignment. They're listed here alphabetically. Dickey, then Hines, then Marks, then Young. For each reference, you start at the edge of the margin, and any subsequent lines are going to be indented. So here you have it at the edge, and then all the other lines are indented. All right, so this is what this should look like. And for each of the references, you have the last name, comma, followed by, you don't want to include any author's first name or middle name. It's just last name and initials. And then after that, you've got the date. You have the title of the journal article. If it's a journal article, you want to make sure that you capitalize only the first letter of the first word in the title. So you'll notice all of the other words in the titles are not capitalized, just the first one. The exception to this is if there is a colon in your title. In that case, you're going to capitalize the first letter of the first word and then the first letter of the first word following the colon. Okay? After that, you have a period after the title, then you have your journal name, and that should all be, you should capitalize the first word of each of the journal title, and that should be in italics. Also in italics will be the volume number. You don't need to include the number. Just the volume number. And then not in italics, you have the page numbers, followed by a period. And that's what this assignment should have looked like when you submitted it. If you made any errors other than what I indicated here, I will provide you individual feedback. If you made any of these errors that I already discussed, I'm not going to give you individual feedback on that. But if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. We're not going to be doing too much with APA style in this particular course, but you're going to need to know APA style for all the other courses, and for some future assignments as well. So please, again, email me if you have any questions at all.